Hello and welcome to Confronting Injustice. I am your host, Linda Solomon, joined by our co-host, James Watson, as we discuss the injustices of the criminal legal system. Today our guest is Stacey Borden. It's a pleasure to have you with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stacey is, among other things, the founder and executive director of the New Beginnings Reentry Services. Mm-hmm. You are a licensed clinician.
Yes.
I know you wear many hats, so why don't we start by you just telling us a bit about who you are and how you became an abolitionist.
Nice. I love that term. So, I mean, you know, besides being the founder and executive director of New Beginnings Reentry Services, foremost, I'm formerly incarcerated, and I come from Roxbury. You know, I'm a sibling of 12. Parents were married 65 years, dysfunctional, but, you know, when I look at my life, I'm like, they were kind of stable, fighting against injustices, racism, raising 12 children, trying to hold us all down. And my childhood trauma affected me bad that, you know, really led me into drug addiction, and drug addiction led me into the criminal legal system. Criminal legal system led me into the prison environment. And so for 30 years, I just funneled in and out. And it wasn't until 2010 that some of the women in Framingham really pulled me up, saved me, and guided me. And that was in 2008. And so I think I made a decision then with the accumulation of, you know, them helping me, guiding me into school, putting me into a job with the law library and really looking at revising revokes and helping women navigate back out. Mm-hmm. But they were coming back so fast, I didn't know what was happening. And then I went to court, and Judge Coffey out of Quincy humanized me. Just asked me, like, what's wrong with me? And I think that in that moment, I kind of felt human. I felt bizarre, because in court, that never happens, for a judge to talk to me without talking to the Commonwealth or the defense attorney. And so my brain just started being active. Manipulation on one side, my old behaviors kicked in, like I better talk to him and get out of this, or then the brain stepped in and said, no, it's time for you to grow up. Somebody's talking to you, respond. And then I just told him everything. I told him about the childhood trauma, my sexual assault as early as I can remember at 7, and then a rape at 19. And my drug addiction has started way beyond maybe 11 or 12.
Really?
And
so
then
flood just came, just...
The flood, I like it, because I just was crying and mucus coming out my nose, and then he asked me that magic question, what do I want? And I'm like, a judge is asking me, what do I want?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's extraordinary.
That was extraordinary. Judge Coffey, never. And I was 47, James.
Wow.
I have been going in and out of Framingham since 17. Or my first bout with an arrest was Boston, you know, D4, and then in Androscoggin County Jail, I did like 7 months at 17, 18.
Wow.
And then my trauma started. My mother tried to send me to Atlanta to get some help, and I was stable for a minute, but my trauma just kept returning. Addiction just progressed until I just ended up back in Boston in 91 and in and out of Framingham. My first sentence was 1994. And I just couldn't maintain sobriety. I just couldn't, I didn't know trauma. I mean, you know, mental health was a stigma.
Yeah.
Who wanted to talk about it?
And not counting, you know, what's surrounding us. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
You know what I mean? The pros and cons, up and down, that's surrounding us. We going into a pool of, you know what I mean, deception, like you said, racism, you know what I mean? But we had to get through that. You know what I mean? As we get older, you know, our mothers can't hold our hand because they're not there behind us. You know what I mean? We're just us out front. You know what I mean? So we got to make the decision.
And you know, you're right, James. And I blame my mother for everything, because you're supposed to be the mom. I didn't see her as a human being. I'm talking about these injustices of the legal system not seeing us as human. I didn't see my mom as human. I didn't see that she had her own traumas in her own life, and then 12 babies hormonally. So, through Judge Coffey's actions, I came from a county transportation. By the way, I had like 15 warrants all over Massachusetts for stealing, check writing, credit card fraud, just dumb stuff that trying to feed my addiction that was really feeding my trauma, suppressing it, more and more and more, repressing it, where I didn't even know what to touch. I didn't even know where to go with it. We know that the prison environment isn't a solution.
Absolutely not.
There's no healing in that.
It's further trauma.
But I did something remarkable for myself in that court that day, and I said to Judge Coffey that I needed help. And I seen the lifers in there that seemed to be settled. They were going to school, they were working, they were doing phenomenal things, and I wanted to go back because I wanted to do the CRA program. Now, I don't credit the prison for saving anybody's life. I credit the women because obviously I felt a place of belonging for once in my life.
In prison.
With the women.
Okay.
And I longed for that. I longed for Angie Jefferson again. I longed for Julie Pike and Lynn Sullivan and those women that were serving life sentences, that were working and being phenomenal women that they are. And I kept hearing about the CRA.
And what is the CRA?
And that's what the Judge Coffey said. What is the CRA? And I said, it's Correctional Recovery Academy.
Okay.
He said, and what does that mean? I'm like, well, I need some correction. I need some recovery, and I need to be educated. Because I was totally lost. I came from Boston Public Schools. They didn't recognize a young lost girl. They just let me slide through. I don't remember what schools. I don't remember what teachers. I really have no recollection of growing up.
Wow.
I'm an OP girl. I didn't come from the project, but I grew up on the corner, and I went to school in Albert Palmer in Orchard Park, and then Dearborn in Orchard Park. And all my best friends were in Orchard Park. And so, trying to navigate those massive school buildings are just like the prison. And I explained all this to Judge Coffey, and I think he got it.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
he said, what do you want to do? And I said, wow, somebody's asking me.
What I want.
So not only did I say I want the CRA program, but I said I want a 3 to 5, because now my manipulation.
Because you had to go back to prison to get that.
That's right. And I knew if I didn't say what I wanted, I was going to be looking at 10 years or more. Because they was tired. That's just how the system looks. They look at your past. They look at how many times you've been in jail. They're like, you don't got it yet. We're going to punish you some more.
Okay.
And something kicked in, and I knew that. So I said, I want a 3 to 5, Judge Coffey. And he said, well, Miss Borden, you're in a county court. We can only give you, you're in district. We can only give you up to 2.5. And my mind was like, oh no, I'm not going to South Bay.
Okay.
I'm not going in that jail. There's no freedom in that,
Okay.
right? There's no
So
outside.
you wanted to be back where you were with those women, with that community.
Yeah, my mom's mind.
Resources that was in there.
Resources,
Yeah.
school, the women that were matured and
Took you under their
compliant.
wing. Right. They.
right, like accountable. And so he said, well, you ready to go over to Dedham Superior? And I said, yeah. Kind of indicted myself, right? So I went to Norfolk Superior, and that judge read Judge Coffey's notes. And he said, what do you want to do today? And I said, I'll take a 3 to 5. He said, well, work it out with the DA. And the DA said, listen, for that type of accountability, we'll give you credit, even though I was on a personal recognizance out of that court. I was being held on a bail out of Middlesex, but they gave me the credit for Middlesex, those 9 months.
Okay.
So I went back. I came from a county transportation. That's so significant. When you're dealing with county transportation.
What do you mean county transportation?
So
What do you mean?
Norfolk Prison or Walpole had then started transitioning to a transportation model. Like that was the transport for all the counties.
Okay. So like a
For if you
centralized
were
sort
a
of-
correctional officer, it was a central unit where they said, okay, this is gonna be our central transportation unit where some of the correctional officers that got trained to transport,
Okay.
right? You can't transport without being able to have went through, I suspect, gun training, you know, whatever other safety training, driving training, you know, and so all the counties had to go through the centralized system for transportation. So I want you to imagine in any of the prisons, they have a central booking office or cell. And so we used to all come down to the cell when it was time to go to court. And we'd be in one big room, and all you saw was all the holding, and all the transportation correctional officers coming with the shackles, just dropping, clack, 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 clack. Middlesex County, Suffolk County, Essex County, Bristol County, all the counties are dropping the shackles. And then they'll call you out. If you're going to Suffolk Court, you're getting shackled. If you're going to Middlesex, everybody in you know, and so you're shackled to like anywhere from 3 to 12 other women.
Yeah, together.
Together.
On your feet, your
Waist,
waist.
hands, legs.
You know.
And some women were pregnant. Some women were alcoholics. Some women were still withdrawing from heroin and alcoholism. And you're in the back of a county van in the dark, and those county trucks move. They make turns. They don't care. We're falling all over each other. We're all in each other's throw up, bowel, stool, everything, because people are withdrawing. And never mind the fact that there's a pregnant woman should not be shackled. Right? And so when I got to Norfolk Superior and the judge gave me that time, I came out of that transportation county van to a state transportation. It was totally different. I just had cuffs on.
Okay.
I literally was in the back of the van, like humanized, talking to the COs. They were different. And I got back to the prison, and I put in my mind that I'm not in a prison environment. I knew that the government can only hold my body, but you can't hold my mind.
That's right.
And so I made a decision that I was going to be college bound. And I got in that prison, and I was different. I wasn't fighting anymore. I wasn't resistance anymore. I wasn't none of that.
Really?
I grew up in that moment. And I have to say, shout out to Angie Jefferson, because she took the time to walk that yard with me a couple of days before I went to court and said some words to me that I'll never forget. That she's like, Stacey, I've been watching you coming in and out of here. You're gonna go back out one day, and you're gonna do something, and you're gonna end up in here with life like me. And I was like, what? Now, we heard of life. I know people got kidnapped. I mean,
Yes, I was one.
Raymond was another.
That's right.
Who was in my life since I was 9. People would just disappear. Now, we knew life, but you don't know the significance. I looked at Angie and I was like, I remember when you came into prison in 1991. I was awaiting trial. You never left. My assumption was everybody got a chance to go home, come back, get a bail, go trial, go, you know. No, she never left in 30 years.
And this is the Angie that we know.
Angie Jefferson. And Angie was one of them that I admired because I saw her go to school. She would run groups. She would do exercise groups. She would, she was applying herself. And she minded her business, just walking. And she walked that yard with me that day. Now, we'd speak, but I didn't know her.
Okay.
But she took that time. And that for me was like, what? Then she told me her story. And I said, oh, this is unacceptable. Now I'm working in a law library. Now I need to look some stuff up. She's got an unconstitutional issue. On top of it, a racist issue. On top of it, separation issue from your children. Like so many things went through me. And from there, the next week, Kimia Faust walked in my cell. And she came in an all-white uniform, but it was like dingy, and she was drooling. And I knew in order to be on a compound with lifers, with sentenced people, because there's two parts of the prison. Either you're in Smith Building, that is like New Line, awaiting trial units, or CCU, the max, right? The whole. In order to come from there to here, you would have had to been in the prison at least 90 days. So I know you wasn't holding no drugs that long. And my mind went right to pharmaceutical. This is what I'm saying. When you get an awakening, all kind of stuff you start seeing things. And then I said, wow, she must be on pharmaceutical drugs. And then it hit me. Oh, no wonder there's a line at the med line that's out the door. It might take 3 hours for people to get their meds. That's how long the lines are.
Yeah, Norfolk, same flavor.
Like,
Same
what are we
flavor.
doing in here? No wonder everybody's walking around. I was in the dock so long. I looked at her and I was like, are you all right, sis? She was only 29. Came in with a 19 to 20 sentence manslaughter. Couldn't read because she had glaucoma, sitting and waiting trial in South Bay for 2 years. Developed diabetes, high blood pressure, glaucoma. I'm like, let me see these meds. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I started reading. I was like, while I was at work looking up stuff, and I'm like, this is not good. So for 2.5 years, I was in that cell. Kimmy had taught me how to laugh. She taught me how to, I joke about dancing. I couldn't be me. I didn't know how to enjoy life. I didn't know how to dance. I didn't know how to let people see who I was. I was in that trauma. And she would say words, and I would look up, and I'm like, what does that word mean, Kimmy? And she would teach me.
The same woman who was drooling, who was over-medicated.
Same woman, because then we started getting her off of those meds.
Okay.
So it took 2.5 years, then I ended up going to the hole. We separated, and then I was wrapping my sentence, and I didn't forget her in Angie's story, and I didn't know how to leave the prison. I used to always wonder why women wasn't leaving. Like, y'all, we're in jail, get out of here. But in that moment, I understood, how am I leaving my sisters behind? So I ran around where they're calling me over the bullhorn, Stacey Borden to admissions, and I was like, okay, y'all, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna do my best to get educated, continue my education, and open up a program and come back and fight for y'all. I'm coming back to get you. And that's all I thought about. I got out, I had probation and parole. Both was better than I had the last time. I had a PO from Suffolk Superior who is now chief of probation, Carmen. I can't tell you how we had a little battle at the beginning about what I felt that I wanted to go in and learn criminal justice. And she felt with my record, you wasn't gonna be able to, and I said, don't do that. Don't do that. You all do that to us all the time. We come out, you don't believe us, you tell me all these barriers. Like, I need some support here. My dad worked in that court 20 some odd years as a court officer. Then she got pregnant, and then I had the worst. And I made a decision that I was gonna file a motion to get off of this probation. What am I paying $65 a month for? I'm on SSI. I'm trying to go to college. I'm taking care of my ailing parents because now both parents had terminal illnesses. And I had to adjust, like, what? Before I go get high again, I need to really apply myself with these two wonderful creatures who supported me all my life.
Through all of your incarceration?
All of it. All of my arrests, all of my outbursts, all of my daddy sectioning me, all of my mom saying leave her in jail, my mom saying don't leave her in jail, all that stuff. And I just said, you know what? I had to talk to my PO, Carmen, and my PO, parole, Kevin, and I just let him know what was up. And Carmen turned it around. Before she went on maternity leave, she let me do my urines on the weekend and let me take care of my parents. And so for that 1 year, I stayed doing my NA meetings, going to groups, doing what I had to do. excuse me, and then my dad passed away December 18th, 2010. I had just came home that March. And it was the most extraordinary experience I ever endured. I thought I'd kill myself if he left. But I made a promise to him that I was going to go to school and be like him.
Really?
You see, my dad was a recovering alcoholic. And he too had the journey of going into room 5, City Hospital, checking in. By the time he came out, he went to college, Antioch University, got a master's. Then he went to Rutgers University on the weekends, New Jersey, and got his license in drug abuse, alcoholism, and opened up Roxbury Detox, which is now DIMIC.
Really?
That's my dad,
What?
George Borden. Yes.
Wow.
Now, I didn't realize all that. I knew all
You were
that.
busy.
Doing what you do.
When I went to
Doing what
Cambridge
your father
College,
directed
that's
you
right.
to do.
When he passed away, I said, I'm going to college. When I went to Cambridge College, I opened the door, they let me in and said, we're gonna give you a shot. When they opened the door again, I seen Antioch University plaque, and I said, oh, my dad went to that college. They said, oh, that's us. We changed the name. I'm like, look at that, Dad, you still got me. Right? I mean,
Incredible.
the spiritual realm, the journey is just amazing. When you can really see your life, it's time to like buckle down and take that journey and stick to your belief system.
Yeah.
And I haven't wavered. I had to go back and look at my mom and like, okay, who's gonna take care of this lady after having this man of 65 years? I said, oh, Stace, it's time to heal. My mom never knew or could say, I love you. She would say, love ya. I remember being in Framingham screaming like, why don't you just say it? Daddy says it all the time. What does love ya mean? Stop saying that to me. And so 4 months, I slept with her, and each night we talked, and each night, by the time we got closer in that king-size bed, she said, Stacey, I love you. I was like, what? You finally said it? I was 50, right? And 3 days later, which would have been, this was April 9th, she said it, or April 7th, she said it, then April 10th would have been their 66th anniversary. She didn't want to get up. April 11th, she started fading out. She had congestive heart failure. The medicine was killing her kidney. She was 85, couldn't be on dialysis. And by then she was ready.
Because her life partner was gone.
Life partner was gone. And on the 12th of April, she passed away, went to sleep forever. And I was like, what do I do now without these two? Extraordinary creatures, I call them.
That's incredible. We have 5 minutes left. We didn't even get to any of our questions, so we're going to have you come back. But I have a
I would
question
love to
for
come
you.
back. Okay.
Definitely. In the time that you spent with your mom,
Yeah.
in the bed together,
Yeah.
what did that do for you? Did you?
It did a lot. We talked about heaven. I don't know. We talked about God. I don't know. But I think the most important thing is because she had, a transgression in her life that she had a drink with her third child. And she had a drink that night and put Bobby in the bed with her. When she woke up, Bobby was deceased. 5 months old. She thought she
Maybe
smothered him. And no wonder there was no love, no nurturing, couldn't hold. She was phenomenal, kept lights on, food, made sure we was in school. She just didn't connect well. And then I understood who she was. And then I asked her that question. I said, you think you're gonna see Bobby again? And I think that's what took her to say it was time for her to transition. Okay. And I learned no regrets. There's no turning back now. You made a promise to them too, you made a promise to your girls. And when she passed away, I made my move.
Okay.
I went, got my master's, got my license as a drug abuse counselor, went to Boston College, did an entrepreneur class, did a PowerPoint presentation, and there was a couple in the audience that said, we'll buy you that house. And now we got that house. And now we got to return to talk about that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because then I started fighting for the rights for my sisters, and we brought Angie home
We brought
from
Angie
that
home.
natural life sentence.
Natural life.
That's
And she is
amazing.
an incredible
Listen,
person.
Kate,
She
the first
is-
one to open the doors to my program, she was the first one to enter.
So you
How
went back.
great is that?
So listen, we don't have a lot of time, and you definitely have to come back because there's so much we didn't
Yes,
talk about.
we ain't-
But,
Yes.
but I'm interested in the trauma piece.
Yes.
The trauma piece is real.
It's real.
And I'm wondering, like, you and your in that journey with her.
She found her peace. I feel it.
And how
She
about
found
you?
her-
Did it help you to
It
address
helped me.
some of that trauma
Yeah,
that
my mom
had you
now,
stuck?
as a black woman, is the strongest, most extraordinary woman I've ever met. I wish that she was alive for her to know that this is how I felt, but I suspect she knew that. I suspect she knew that. Because
She knew.
when she was passing, it was me who she trusted a lot.
Because you had left.
And I'm
she had
like, how
left-
do you trust the most problematic child? Right?
She's seen something that you didn't.
Because I would always show up even when I was high.
Wow.
I tried to help my older sister help my mom throughout her. She had a stroke in '96, so she was paraplegic. I try to show up as much as I can, but I suspected my mother saw something in me I didn't see in myself.
And the judge saw something in you as
In
well.
the judge.
Like, that's incredible.
And I haven't turned back in my recovery. I mean, I'm not so much in Narcotics Anonymous recovery, but I made a commitment to myself. That desire is gone. It's about really touching. There's still stuff in there that you haven't touched. If
Right,
you repress
right.
it so far,
Right.
this is almost like it's deep.
Right. And you have
So,
to dig it out from the core.
it's
Because
layers.
trauma, yeah, when we know, and you know,
Yeah.
trauma doesn't go away. I mean, it's
That's
there,
right.
and if we don't address it, it will wreak havoc.
It's your life experiences. It's how you create tools to address it each time it comes up or something new comes up
Right.
that you hadn't even addressed.
That's right. So listen, so we have to have you come back.
Okay.
Because we know you ran for governor's council. Most people don't even know what that is.
That's
so
right.
you can talk about that when you come
Okay.
back.
I would love it.
More about the new beginnings, and then you're what is it? An abolitionist. We have to
Yeah.
explain to people what that is
Yeah.
and how important that is, and what people can do if they feel so compelled to do something because
It's really disrupting the power of oppression. I'm a disruptor. I love that word.
and so there may be people who want to be disruptors as
Yes.
well. Like
I
so
disrupt the
we-
criminal legal system. You know, judges know I bust in courtrooms all the time and like, what are you holding this kid for? Especially, people don't like that I talk about these 58A dangerousness hearings.
Right, that's.
Gun charges, like,
Yeah, that's.
did he shoot anybody? How many guns you have in your environment,
And,
in your communities? That
and
we're not allowing to teach our children the rights to bear arms. Take the gun, give him a fine, teach him. If he don't come back and get a permit, then he don't get the gun back.
Right.
But I don't feel more safe that you held him for 58. You're taking his rights away.
And there's another thing that goes in there that's hurting a lot of people, that bargaining criminal chip.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Coercive.
You take this, that's it is. You take these 10 armed robberies, well, no, they're not yours, but we'll give you this if you
Right.
take this.
Coercive.
So now you're coercing me to do
That's
this.
right. And
You know,
isn't
we
there a
need to know
saying
alternative.
when it comes to the colloquy? A lot of people don't know the colloquy. You take that deal, now you gotta go in front of the judge and the judge asks you a series of questions. When you just coerce me, what do you mean?
Right.
Did anybody coerce you? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
They just told me if I take this that I didn't do, I could get this amount. That's a coercive
And it's
deal.
We have a few minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
So we
We
will,
could have a
we
lot
will
of
definitely have you
conversations on
come
this
back.
stuff.
But we would
Yes.
like to thank
Yes.
you,
Yes.
Stacey,
Thank
for being with
Thank you.
us, and we thank you. We thank the audience for watching. And so we will definitely schedule for you to come back because we didn't get to our
We-
question.
we-
But it's okay. It's okay
Yeah.
because everything that was shared was meant to be shared.
Thank you.
So, and we appreciate the work that you're doing. And
Thank you for the opportunity.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We know you're still fighting, and this shouldn't be
Come a
such
long
a fight.
way.
But
Yeah, we're
So-
still fighting for Raymond's
Yes.
freedom, even though the SJC found him not guilty. Like, what? That's what I want to talk about. Like,
Well,
what
that's-
kind of injustice system do we have that you can go from a superior judge that says you're not guilty, right, on a wrongful conviction, and then the SJC that says you're not guilty. Now you got to go
Okay.
back to be retried.
well, you know what? We can have you and Raymond Games on.
I love it.
Right.
Thank you for
Thank you
watching.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.